Yeah, so today we had the I.M.P.A.C.T cohort up, the first inaugural I.M.P.A.C.T cohort as their kind of graduation. Today's the last day of an 8-week program that they've been undertaking, and Applied Values kind of inserted themselves along the way to try and help with the process. So we wanted to kind of have an informal graduation ceremony, but away from Exodus itself, and have them come down to our offices and kind of treat them to a breakfast and be able to just gather with the Applied Values staff in a way that was a less formal setting, and then give them the opportunity, of course, to see our offices and kind of show off on our end as well.
This is the founding cohort, so we are working out a lot of kinks.
Yeah.
We're working out a lot of kinks.
That's exciting though, because then you get input from kind of both ends too.
Because that's natural. I think we all do that though. We all can, dismiss ourselves.
Yeah.
Some of us do it more than others. I won't say any names. I'm just. No, but you're getting better. That's what
It's hard to talk yourself up.
It is. Don't tell yourself. You have work.
Opposed to knowing what I know. What's that word you say?
No, but you know.
Not at the
You got
table.
this. You got this. Yeah, believe me, he's got to work.
Before you head out,
I'm a
once
great
everyone gets
mentor,
there.
and the one thing I say about Darrell is that he, when we first started I.M.P.A.C.T, like,
Oh man.
everybody was like, it was like iffy, it was a little nervousness, and we all didn't know each other, and that what made us a family, like, literally made us a family. This is our family, this is the group right here.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
to see us leave is sometimes, for me, I'm not gonna lie, it hurts me. It hurts me to see us leave. I built my foundation right here with
about that
I.M.P.A.C.T,
last
and
night.
they became my family. So it's like, he brought out things out of us that we never had. Like we thought we didn't have. Like we had it, but we didn't it wasn't like he brought it out of us. Like we know we had it, but it didn't come out of our shells. It's like just words can explain. I just got to
Nah.
Yesterday after my interview. I thought he was going to tear up.
It's okay. Alright. Just everybody. Yeah, exactly. Just started off more on the donation side. We would help fund some Exodus programs, but then we wanted to get more involved because Bruce is on the board of World Vision and Hand in Hand, which are two larger organizations that do microfinance loans for programs in Kenya and India. So we did projects for them where we kind of helped them cut their overhead costs, so that how the Red Cross is every dollar you give, 40 cents goes to overhead, which is kind of how Exodus came about. And we went up in June of this year to meet with kind of the staff and meet Julio and kind of get a lay of the land. And since then we've been trying to find ways to keep engaged, because we want this to be a longer term partnership, not just something that we come in once or twice and then kind of disappear. And so we've been sending people for the wilderness program, and then now through this as well. So trying to keep it up in those regards, because the social responsibility aspect of AV is not really separate from the consulting side or the private equity side. It's given equal weight, which is something I think is pretty unique to Applied Value. And one of the reasons that this is such a big drive for us is the best way to go, especially because a lot of companies are a lot more socially responsible, I think, moving forward. And so having programs where they hire people who maybe previously were considered to be not as hireable, I think is be a lot more of a focus for a lot of people. I know, at least for me, that was a big push for this company we bought in Atlanta, is that I wanted to have it staffed entirely through transitional centers, and that's not something I think that has been the norm in the past. So
It's not.
being ready with the correct, especially in that industry, having the correct certifications moving forward.
We thought our passions and whatever was all over. So Darrell instructed a good course to make us narrow down, what our passions is, what we are good at, what we're not good at.
Well, maybe I need to take this.
Right, to let us narrow down to what we are good at. So with that in mind, you can maybe have a youth impact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't have to wait as long as we waited. You know,
No, I think it's a great idea.
You know, and the youth impact, and now with that, like I'm saying, so we can get all of that out. Where's the painter and the maintenance man right here? He does everything.
You know anyone in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I have family in Atlanta, but I don't know nobody else out
You know,
there.
and we have all different talents. You know, we got man, see, we never knew that a dog, you know, have 93 commands
Right.
or whatever. We just thought he had to sit and
Roll over.
roll
We
over.
chatted about it before.
You know,
You know, can you tell us a little bit about how, you know, how do you start recognizing like opportunities even in business, knowing when maybe to switch companies? I mean, you said you made a shift.
Right.
Because we did a whole week on professional development. Because that's part, sometimes it's like we're still learning on how, all of us are, how to be more savvy with
Right.
just being attuned to like, okay, maybe my time is up here and I need to move into
Right.
this, knowing where you should be placed, what role, even what industry, and even how to move up and increase your worth.
Yeah. Well, I think that on the last note, increasing your worth, I think it's you increase your worth just by the more replaceable you get at a company, I think, then the less replaceable you are at a company, obviously your worth goes up. So if you are, you know, motivated on your own to get more involved and to be kind of that go-to person for a specific thing, then, you know, you're going to be valued more, I believe. And then, I mean, what I had mentioned before about switching industries, so banking is a very particular industry where you have to kind of either, you have to love it to be in it because it is so all-consuming. And so I just kind of saw that the role that I was in wasn't really client-facing. So I liked what I was doing. It was very like analytical, which I liked, but it wasn't client-facing. And so I knew that, you know, that's something that I really, really wanted, but I wasn't going to be able to find in that specific company. And so that's kind of what made me make the switch. So it's just knowing, I guess, like what your hard yeses are that you want in a job, and then kind of finding out where you can do that. And so it's doing a lot of research also on, you know, where it is that you can do that. Yeah.
And I think for me, one of the biggest things I learned being here so far is that it's all about like taking initiative. Like there's not necessarily a waiting period that you have to have, like, oh, I've only been here 2 months, like I should wait 6 months before I like suggest something. From day one, like you have to, yes, maybe they know a little bit more about this company and this particular role, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't voice your opinion and speak out and take that initiative very early on. Because then I think that helps you shape what you want to get out of the role as well, because you start seeing yourself shift maybe to one direction or another and find yourself like caring more maybe about one particular part of the job than the other, and that kind of helps shape, at least for me, it has like what you want to do and maybe what the next step would be in a way that you wouldn't necessarily know before.
Yeah, I like how you said that, proving your worth from the beginning. How do you choose, you know, because we talked about this as well, because I know for some of them, they're going to have jobs that maybe make more money, but aren't really going to lead them to where they want to go.
Then, you know, short-term needs are short-term needs. But then if you're in a position where you can maybe be okay without having that increase in salary, and you are like in that position where you're able to focus on long-term needs, then, you know, I think that's the time when you should do that. So it's kind of making sure that your foundation's like set, and then from there being able to be like, okay, this job is the one that's going to lead me to where I want to be long-term, so I'm fine, and I can work towards that now, I think.
So my name's Kaori. I'm a consultant with Applied Value. I've been here about 1.5 years now. Applied Value's relationship with Exodus, I think, stems pretty deep because our CEO, Bruce Grant, has worked with Julio up at Exodus for a couple of years now, but it was mainly more on the financial side. And this past summer, we all went up as a company to kind of expand that relationship beyond just the financial and move more into pro bono consulting and maybe helping them with the skills that we had acquired as consultants. And so since that time, I've gotten to know Darrell through the I.M.P.A.C.T program, and we've had Applied Value kind of stretch our working knowledge in consulting to the program and have people do like phone interviews and Skype interviews. We had Ryan, who's the MD, the managing director of our New York office, go up and speak to them a little bit more about education and how education can help you achieve your goals. And today we're having the entire cohort down as kind of their graduation ceremony because they're the first cohort of the I.M.P.A.C.T program, and this is the final day of that. So it's really great to kind of hear what they've learned through the program and then having them up at our offices and talking about the next cohort and how they're going to kind of expand into youth mentorship and the way that AV can kind of continue that relationship and be involved down the line.
So when you said you do like interviews on the phone, are they like practice interviews?
Yeah, so the cohort's right now looking to gain apprenticeships and jobs down the line. So of course, like Darrell does interviews with them, but having the experience with the multimedia forms of interviews and having the phone and then the Skype, I think just makes them more well-rounded candidates and stand out more for the positions that they're going for.
And how would you encourage other companies and consultants and organizations to lend a hand, get involved?
I think the biggest thing is extending beyond just the financial, because the second you get people up to these organizations, especially as consultants, like you're kind of trained to walk into a new situation and immediately assess like how you can help, because that is essentially what we do every day as a part of our job. So just taking the time to go to these organizations and seeing the way in which you fit within their mold and not necessarily how you can insert yourself has been the biggest thing for us, being able to reach out to Darrell and say, how can we fit within your 8-week plan, as opposed to here's something we think that we could do for you, I think has been the biggest thing.
How would you describe Darrell?
I think Darrell is a force of nature, and even though I'd never met him before in person, when the whole group walked through the door, I immediately knew which one was him, just through the conversations that we had had and the way he carries himself.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Yeah, no, he's been wonderful. It was crazy. Like when he first walked in, I was like, nope, that one's Darrell. Like, I know.
What else? Did you have anything else you
just,
want to ask?
What sticks out as the most special thing about Exodus and this program to you personally, and what impresses you the most?
I think the most impressive thing about Exodus to me is how people don't really see it as a step along their journey. It's becomes kind of a part of their life. You see, talking to the I.M.P.A.C.T cohort today, they're like, yeah, like we're going to go out and do X, Y, Z, but that doesn't mean you're not going to see us. We're going to all be back like at Exodus all the time, like trying to give back. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen with Exodus, and the coolest thing about this program is that people aren't, even though it's a development program for the individual, people are already graduating today, looking to see how that they can give back to an organization that's given them so much.
And what do you think about why are second chances important?
I think, well, on the larger, like, systemic, people who are historically sent to jail are people of color and from poorer neighborhoods, and it's not people, they're not given a fair shake in life to begin with, so I don't really see it as a second chance. I see it as a fair first chance to begin with, where other people are given 5, 6, 7 chances down the line and not even coming into contact with some of the structural and situational things that people in these communities are.
So my name is Julio Morales, and I'm part of the I.M.P.A.C.T program.
And how did you get involved in this?
I got involved with I got involved with Exodus from prison. You know, I was working in Greenhaven Correctional Facility for the Project Build and Exodus program, and got connected with Julio and Diana, Rosana Rosado. So it became a good relationship there. And upon release, thank God, you know, they were there for me. They helped me out so much, and Diana saw that I might be a good fit for the I.M.P.A.C.T program and connected me to that. So.
And why is it so important? I think something a lot of people don't know, probably who are going to watch this video, is like when you're released from prison, a lot of people don't have anywhere else to go, right? Can you talk about that a little bit? Why this is so important?
Oh, this is immensely important because, I mean, upon being released, it's a complete culture shock. Everything is within one building, the medical, the school building, and anything, work. It's all within the one prison. But upon being released, everything is all over the place. You got to go downtown here, got to take the train there, got to go to such and such building, get on this line, get directed to another line, and then you got to wait over there, you fill out a form and submit it here, and then go wait for somebody else over there. So it's a lot of things. On top of that, all the technology stuff, it's like, oh my God, this stuff is so overwhelming. But it was a blessing because in Exodus, people have been coming out of prison. They've been getting the help from there. And those people at Exodus, they know what it's like coming home and all the little obstacles that people have to go through. And it was a big blessing because they directed me, they helped me out, where I should go, where I should take this. The mandatory programs that I have to take, I was able to take them in Exodus, and all within the same roof. So, that was a tremendous blessing.
And what about the I.M.P.A.C.T program specifically? What is that helping you to do?
I.M.P.A.C.T program is really, by immersion, is helping me to see that a lot of the skills that I utilized on the inside, that I didn't really think they were applicable on the outside. A lot of facilitating, a lot of the different programs that I did on the inside, that they would be useful on the outside. That's what the guy who's teaching the I.M.P.A.C.T program was kind of like highlighting. It's like, yo, you got a lot of skills over the course of 20 some odd years. You've acquired these skills. These skills are useful, and you can utilize them on the outside. All that experience that you gained, you can still utilize that. And I really didn't look at it like that, but so that it kind of helped me with that,
And what do you want to do when after? What's your next step?
Well, I'm looking to try to start my own business eventually. So I'm doing a lot of researching. That's why the technology thing is being helpful, and I need to still get the ins and outs. Purchasing of the leather work and the hardware and all the rules, all the laws and everything that I have to abide by. So that's one thing. But at the same time, I would like to continue contributing to the community with the youth. I came in prison when I was 18 years old, and I know how it is to be hard-headed and think I know everything. And I just did not imagine what prison would be like. And now I would, if I can keep kids from making those choices, I would definitely get involved with that. I definitely want to continue that. And that's what I was doing on the inside. That's what I want to do now.
What's like the one thing that's the most special or different about it from all the other programs you've done?
I've done some other programs, but with Exodus it's been, and with the I.M.P.A.C.T it's been, it's a tightly knit group. We're there together daily, on a daily basis. We've done even some like little trips in the city, all of us together. So we've gone through the stores and learning how to shop, what to look for and everything. So all of those things I've never seen in any other program, so. And
what do you think of Darrell as a leader and facilitator?
Oh, Darrell is fantastic, he definitely brings the whole group together. He definitely makes us relax and to be able to put the guard down and to really highlight the gifts that we actually have on the inside. Sometimes we overlook these things and we don't realize the things that that have been dormant inside of us. And he's like, well, he starts directing. He's like, oh, listen, man, you got this. And all of a sudden we start believing it and we start seeing it. It's like, oh, you know what, I can apply that. And then, he's been a big blessing. He's been great, and he's a great teacher.
So Ryan Huff, I'm a partner with Applied Value. Applied Value is a management consulting firm, but we do a lot of work with corporate social responsibility. Our CEO, Bruce, knows Julio from a while back, got mutually introduced. And we really loved the organization when we heard about it. We actually took the entire office up there on a Saturday to really get to know Julio and the rest of the team. And we thought about what are the ways that we as a consultancy can actually help all the community that they represent up there. And one of the things that we talked about was the I.M.P.A.C.T program, where They're really boots on the ground, getting down into the weeds of trying to change people's lives as they come out, and then what can we actually do to help them, and what knowledge could we impart? And so actually I went up there a couple weeks ago and we did a whole session on education. And it was interesting because we were talking about education not just from the formal sense, but how do you really just keep on striving to learn more, get more, do more? And I learned just as much from them as they learned from me. So I think it was a great program, and I'm really excited to see everybody here in our offices today, and hope that in a year from now we can go see their journeys.
What's unique about the Impact program?
I think it's very unique, the fact that you get everybody bought in, right? A lot of times these things are stuff that people are like, yep, check the box, I'll show up, but you can really tell that everybody's very engaged. And I think the concept of trying to make it about jobs, make it really about how they can find a career, I think that's unique. I think it's something that you don't see very often from other programs.
And why do you think second chances are important?
Well, I think second chances are important because everybody can change, right? Everybody does not have the same upbringing. Everybody doesn't have the same options as they grow up. And I think what I found from Exodus and the people that we've talked to is that you got people that really want to make the change, that have difficult situations sometimes, but this is the opportunity. And what is America if not second chances?
The main reason we wanted to bring people here is to just bring them out of their element, get them to see a different part of the world, a different part of the city. Sometimes we don't get where we want in life, not because we're not, intelligent people and well-meaning, but because our exposure is limited. And so even as we stand here on the 54th floor of the Empire State Building and we see physically a different vision, is symbolic of figuratively showing people a different vision of their lives, that there's more to their life than the immediate circumstances that have surrounded them. Applied Value has been extremely beneficial to us. This right here is kind of the capstone of a journey that they've been on with us. They helped us with the mock interviews during Employment Week. They helped us during the Professional Development Week. They did telephone interviews. They even brought a computer so that way we could do video conferencing. And they've given us invaluable advice throughout this, really throughout this founding cohort. And so we're just excited to be down here and to be connected with them, and we'll be using them moving forward.
And graduation day, how do you feel? How do you feel about the guys?
Well, look, so we still have 4 more weeks until they officially graduate. This is just the end of the classroom experience. I am going to miss them tremendously. I have certainly bonded with each of them. They are just a pleasure to be around, and seeing their growth has been extremely rewarding. I've had a lot of different positions in my life, jobs. I've never had a responsibility like this, a role like this. I can't even call it a job because though I'm getting paid for it, it is so immensely rewarding. And as I've gone on my own journey of redemption to kind of sort of be this blessing, to be a blessing, has been phenomenal. And to see their growth, all of them I know are going to succeed. There are going to be challenges. But life isn't without challenges. So I think my immediate hope now is seeing them get placed in internships, seeing them flourish there, seeing them learn or use the things that they've learned. And Ryan invited us back here a year from now. So that's going to be an even different milestone to see over next year how they continue to develop.
That's great.
Perfect. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you. Awesome.
Hey, just kidding.
Increasing impact.
It's beautiful.
Great.
Love it. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you guys.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely.
We really enjoyed having you guys here. Yes, I will grab some cards for us.
Could you help me? I don't have his number. Call James. Tell James, return to the mothership. I will certainly make sure that I let y'all.
Got a little bit.
He really like
You really get into that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. Stop. Go back and do it. Okay, thank you.
look at that.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I know.
Then we walk.
What is that? This is not what you used. I just got changed. What do you mean change for? That's what I was about to say. They said that 80% of
That's true. 85% is from other countries.
Really all
Yes.
in New York.
Look at me, big smiles and cheese. I'm gonna take a few. Cheese. Very nice.
Take yours too. I took it. I took it. I already took it.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, y'all.